This changes everything for the White Sox as the White Sox have made multiple roster moves before Monday night's series opener against the Angels, placing Tanner Murray on the 10-day injured list with a dislocated left shoulder and reinstated Austin Hayes from the injury list after a rehab assignment with AAA Charlotte. What's going on, White Sox fans? Welcome back to White Sox Digest. My name is Anthony. Let's get right into today's video. Now, to simplify everything, all these moves for casual fans, it means one outfielder is going out, another's coming back in, and the Sox continue to shuffle pieces as injuries keep just reshaping our roster. But we're going to figure it out. We're all good. We're all good. Hopefully, we do a little series sweep with the Angels. It'd be a great series, great week. But this move matters because the White Sox aren't just replacing one player. They're trying to figure out which guys actually fit once everyone is healthy and available. That's what makes this such an important move for the rest of the season. And let's just get right into it, starting with Tanner Murray. Here is the roster move that the White Sox sent out today. Outfielder Austin Hayes returned from his injury rehabilitation assignment in Charlotte AAA and reinstated him from his 10-day IR injury list. Tanner Murray placed on the 10-day injury list with a left shoulder dislocation. Now, Murray did get hurt on the 10th inning of Sunday's game against the Nationals. He laid out for a catch in left center field, but as soon as he landed, it was obvious that something was wrong with his left shoulder. He did make the catch, not that it mattered too much because the Sox ended up losing anyway. But it was a good catch, and it sucks to see Murray going down after he was on a little bit of a hot streak. But that move that led to the move we got on Monday, which was Murray to the 10-day IL stint with a left shoulder dislocation. And it's especially disappointing because Murray had earned a real opportunity with the White Sox after being called up when Everson Pereira went on the injury list earlier this month. Now, in 13 games, Murray hit at a 214 average with a 281 on base percentage and a 602 slugging percentage, on base slugging percentage. One home run, a little bit of a production in a utility role. He's a natural infielder who can also handle a corner outfield spot like he was doing in that game versus the Nationals. And he's been in left field a good amount. But this is why the White Sox liked him in the first place, is because his versatility. And the bigger question now is what happens when he's healthy again? Because if the rest of the roster stays full, Murray may not have the same obvious path to get back to like he did before. Like back to the outfield, back to the infield, because we have so many players coming back from injury, well, hopefully coming back from injury. That's where the depth chart does get interesting because the Sox do value his versatility, but the team has to figure out whether there's still a spot for him once he returns. Now let's flip to the good news with Mr. Austin Hayes. Austin Hayes is back, and it is a clear upgrade for the offense. Hayes has been on the injured list with a right hamstring strain, and he spent time rehabbing it with AAA in Charlotte. During that rehab stint, he played in 2 games, homered in 1, and even appeared in left field in the others as he worked his way back to Chicago. Now, for the White Sox, this is a big deal because Hayes was signed in the offseason to provide a steady veteran presence. And even when he wasn't raking early on, he still came through in important spots. He drove in 6 runs, and he was riding a 4-game hitting streak before the injury. And I know a lot of the stuff I see online is always enough of the veteran presence. Just give the young guys a chance. Give the international signings the chance. I'm so with that, but I'm really think that the White Sox did cut down on the veteran presence. Like, we really only, like, Hayes has been out, Benintendi's a veteran presence. We don't have too many older guys. We are young and exciting, which I do like. So I do think he has a very important veteran presence for us. And if we look at his stats right here, he appeared in 9 games before going down. He was hitting at a 219 average with a 242 on base percentage. He had 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Stat line's fine, not too bad, not too great, but what matters most is that he's the more established, more dependable bat compared to what the other guys have been doing in the lineup. With the other guys being shuffled around, he needs to be dependable. He needs to be an established bat, and he has been doing good in the minors so far on his little rehab assignment. But that's why this move matters beyond just the injury itself, is because the Sox are clearly better with Hayes back in the offensive lineup. Like maybe our outfielder, our defense can survive without him, but we do need all the bats we can get, especially because our bats have cooled down after that Diamondback series. Like we go out west and we just rake. Everyone was on home run streaks, Montgomery, Vargas, and Muni, but slowed down a little back in Chicago, but it's all right. We're going to pick it back up. Like I said, way better lineup with him in there. And if he can pick up where he left off, that does give Chicago another veteran who can stabilize this middle of the order and help keep the lineup from getting too young and also too right-handed, because we do have a lot of right-handed hitters right now. But I saw a tweet maybe this morning where it was like Vargas, Montgomery, and Muni stats compared to the rest of the lineup, and it was like, whew, it wasn't pretty to look at. So we do need someone else in the middle of that lineup to help us. And here's where the story gets a little more interesting. This isn't just about Murray and Hayes. It's about the White Sox deciding to manage the bench and the rest of the roster once everyone is available. The Sox have also called up Jonathan Cannon. They also have Jonathan Cannon, scheduled to begin a rehab assignment with Charlotte, which adds another arm into the mix. And Lucas Sims cleared waivers, elected free agency, and then re-signed with the Sox on a minor league deal, which I love, which is another sign that the bullpen and the depth picture is just very fluid. Now, the big question is whether Murray will have a spot when he gets healthy. This is really where I think is the most important part of the story. It's not a guaranteed spot anymore, especially with Sam Antonacci now in Chicago as another natural infielder who has also found a home in left field. And I saw a stat, I think he has 2 strikeouts and like 28 or 30 at-bats. He hasn't been getting on base too much, but Sammy boy, he's been aggressive and he's making a few errors, been left. I think he's going to figure it out. I really like his aggression. And I think the hitting coach even called him a psycho or psychopath. I love having a little psychopath in the team. That makes Murray a little more expendable because he's competing with players who are also providing the same amount of versatility he is. And that's where the bench construction angle happens. Everson, Pereira, Derek Hill, and Luisangel Acuna are all out of minor league options, which makes it hard to see the Sox just moving on from one of them to clear space for Murray later on. That's why the roster crunch matters so much. The Sox just can't stash everybody and everyone once they return from injury, and it just forces more hard decisions on Venable, which I think Venable has been handling the decisions very well. Tristan Peters may become the odd man out eventually with Hayes back on the bench, already pretty right-handed, steady, and Chicago may prefer a left-handed option around who can someone who could also handle that center field position way more established than Peters, because Peters has kind of been learning as he's been going, but I do like Peters, and the aggressive bunting has really caught my eye. So the bigger story here is that the White Sox are starting to get some players back, but every return is creating a roster puzzle instead of solving it cleanly. That's what makes this one of those moves that could end up changing the shape of the team more than it looks on the surface. Like we could lose some player that we think is going to be on our team the rest of the year. Now, my take, this is a good problem to have in a sense that Hayes gives you a better bat, and Cannon is getting closer to coming in that bullpen, but it also means that the White Sox are going to have to make some real choices pretty soon here. Murray was useful because of his versatility, but once the roster gets healthier, usefulness alone might not be enough to keep you around. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Who do you think, does Hayes come back, make Murray more expendable, or who do you think the White Sox are going to keep when everyone is healthy? Honestly, I think Acuna is on his way out. He's been all right. The signing was okay. He's been hitting a little bit in the beginning of the season. His fielding is kind of just atrocious to me. He's been missing some routine plays. Same with Antonacci, but I don't know. I think Acuna is gone. I think Pereira stays. He's been really hitting, and Hill's a great pinch runner. But that's my take on that. And if you guys want more White Sox breakdowns, I'm here all year. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment everything. I'll read them all. And as always, go White Sox. I'll see you guys in the next one.